Whenever massive tank battles are mentioned, many books and movies speak about the legendary battlefields, but rarely mention how the tanks actually got to these remote locations. The common misconception, sometimes fueled by unrealistic movies, is that the tanks are often moving towards the battlefield on their own, covering hundreds of kilometers. In reality, the most common way for tanks to be transported during the war was by rail. This has several reasons, but the main reason is the nature of the tank itself. While early in the Second World War tanks were often relatively light vehicles, later the main battle tanks could easily reach weights of 60 tons. Such weight does have a destructive effect not only on the infrastructure the tank is driving over, but also on any bridges and other such structures the tank might be forced to cross. In reality, a less sturdy bridge might collapse under the pressure of such a heavy vehicle. During World War II, the 80-ton heavy armor transport flat car was used to carry military items closer to the front. One flat car could carry 2 light vehicles or 2 medium tanks, such as the Panzer III, but transporting a Tiger tank required the entire car. For rail transport, the tracks of the Tiger were removed. Transport tracks, just 520 mm wide, were then fitted. This reduced the tank's width just narrow enough to fit the railway flat cars. The tanks were moved on. The tank's operational tracks were transported on the wagon with the vehicle. At the destination, the whole process was reversed. The transport tracks were packed back onto the wagons after use and remained with them, so the tank crew did not have to drive around with a second set of tracks. The Tiger II tank used the same system, except its tracks were 800 mm and 660 mm wide, so not compatible with the older Tiger I tank. Now, when a heavy panzer battalion requested wagons for a railway move, they had to specify whether they needed Tiger I or Tiger II tracks. An obvious question this raises is why not just leave the narrower track on permanently? The answer is that this would raise the tank's ground pressure to an unacceptable level. It would now be far more likely to sink in to soft ground, and its mobility on the battlefield would be greatly reduced. As much of an inconvenience as the track replacement must undoubtedly have been, it was better than dealing with a bog tank under enemy fire. For movement, many divisions were broken up into smaller train loads. An average of 2 tanks per rail car, plus enough space for 20,000 to 30,000 men. A full-strength panzer division transported by railway needed no less than 80 trains, each train with up to 55 wagons.